Welcome to the first live of 2021. If you have planned out anything and everything for this upcoming year, I still want you to join and listen until the very end, because as the past year showed us, anything and everything can happen. And I am sure that my past year has gone right because I have used these 3 ways to be able to plan out my year. And this is why I didn't really have to tweak a lot of the things, or I didn't really have to go back to ground zero when it came down. When the pandemic happened, right? So my name is Zsuzsanna, and I help overstretched business and mindset coaches online to leverage their time and expertise with online courses so that they can have the life that they have dreamed about, right? And every January is about planning and goal setting. And a lot of the influencers and a lot of the talk online is about how you have to set SMART goals, how you have to meet um, the figures, how you can assess your previous financial year, how you can build on it, and how to do projections for the coming year. But then you are just left there with a lot of the great words, and you might not understand what it really takes, or how do you really have to proceed with planning so that it can really project your intentions, your financial goals, your SMART goals for the coming year, right? And in the past couple of years, so no, let's get back like 20 years ago, when I started my language school, and the way I planned out the whole business structure and revenue generation and monetization plan of the business side was that everybody teaches online. You have to have a niche, and you have to find your ideal client in that niche. You have to know your ideal client in and out, and then you can craft an offer that is irresistible so that people come and buy into you, and you have to be able to communicate the value of that offer in a way that people come and buy. And I was lucky because before that I'd done exactly the same thing. So I had the same business activity, but I didn't have it in the scale was different, right? And funnily enough, it turned out that the demand in the market shifted. And so we had to also shift our core offer, right? And then this is how I came to teach very, very young learners. And this is how I came to understand that even if you have a good enough plan and you have your ideal client avatar and you know your market, the shifts and changes when come along, you have to be swift and abrupt enough so that you can follow along. And I can tell you that in 6 months, that business became very profitable. And ever since that planning of mine, I follow in each and every business year, because I know that this is how I can follow industry trends. I can stay top of the mind expert, and I can stay relevant for the people who want my services, right? Or the products and offers that I craft. And basically, what it means is that you have to understand very well the skill sets that you have, and you have to understand how those skill sets can be packaged and repackaged so that it meets the demand in the market. So you sell them what they want, and you deliver on what they really need, right? Because a lot of the times people know what they want because of the shiny pennies, because they hear this and that, and they believe that that is what their pain point is. Or my favorite analogy is when a kid tells you that he wants you to read his favorite book to him, and you say that you don't have enough time, then no kid will ever tell you that I want to learn to read. They will tell you, oh, how I wish I could read, right? So, and if you are a teacher of elementary school teacher, then you understand that teaching kids to read takes much more than just being able to read their favorite story that they have heard like 1,000 times. And if they open the book and there are enough pictures in the book and illustrations, that they can roughly or even word by word recite the story for that, right? So what I want to say is that if you understand what your market wants and you can package it so as they get what they really need, you stay in demand and you will have a very successful business. But how can you do that? Okay. And if this is mainly if it is not your first year in business. So most probably last year, if not earlier, you have started to sell something online, your services, your skills, maybe because you were made redundant, or maybe because you had some other pressing matters in your life and you saw that everybody moved online, and you were experimenting how you can monetize and build on your own skills, and started to do it online, right? So now you have a good enough understanding moving forward, what is it that you can offer? And the way you want to package that offer has to come from 3 different sources of considerations, right? So if we look at the first source of consideration, it should be data. So what I want you to do is that you go and dedicate your next 3 days to really understand and go over your plans for this year, so that you don't need to change it every so often when something happens, or when you meet problems or obstacles along the way, right? So the first thing you have to do is that you have to look at your data from the previous year. Or if you are in business longer than a year, then all the previous years. And I'm sure that you have at least a couple of sales or a couple of conversions that resulted in signing a client, no matter the amount of money that you have made on this, because first you have to understand that you need to sell your services in order for you to have a business. And I know when you start out, it is very difficult because you have to put yourself into the shoes of your people, and you have to overcome a lot of your limiting beliefs, but I'm sure you have enough data so that you understand what converts people. Even if your first clients are pro bono, or you swap services, you want to understand what kind of packages, what kind of offers your audience wants from you. Okay, because there are certain coaches, mindset coaches, who teach NLP. There are certain business coaches who teach you the specific social media strategies. There are some certain health coaches who teach you different diets. So you have to choose what market niche do you want to fit yourself into, and what is it that they really take you for, so as an expert, right? So first of all, you have to look at the conversion rates that you have, not exactly the money you have made, but yes, most definitely if you had some revenue generated, you have to look at that. And you have to see what is the main source of revenue that you have had. So is it your one-on-one coaching? Is it your power sessions? Is it your online course? Is it your membership community? There should be one major source or leading source of income that you can generate in your business that comes from one offer. And I want you to keep that one offer for this year and promise to yourself that you focus on that one offer. And you consider that offer as the bottom of your funnel, right? So that sits at the very bottom of your funnel. That is like the ultimate destination for your clients. Once you have that identified, that one offer, go back to your social media insights. You can find it on your Facebook page, on your Instagram page, in your whatever, and go through the content that you have had over the past year or the past period, and take the most popular content pieces and plan out your content strategy using them as content pillars that are going to generate most of your sales or most of your conversions, because that is how you can connect with your audience, right? So there is no service-based business without a service and selling that service, right? So with the first day, what you want to do is that you want to identify the type of service that your audience wants from you and the type of content and topics of contents that your audience can relate to, right? I have done it for this year already. This is why I am doing live videos. That was the most popular content in my insights. I could have a look at it and I saw that live video was one of them. And the other one was my podcast, and people loved it a lot. So I decided to start an inner circle for my audio training, and it is going to be a very private audio training hub where you are going to have weekly in-depth, more personalized, more tailored strategies and more behind the scenes of what's working and what not working, because the industry is changing. So it is changing a lot. And it brings me to my second source of consideration, or the second and your second day, that you want to look into how your industry is shifting and changing. Because what I can tell you is that innovation, research, and the overall culture of your niche is changing. And what I have seen already is that we have shifted from the one-on-one coaching, then mastermind kind of offers, to more personalized and more accountability-based, but shorter commitment services, which are VIP days, power sessions or power hours, along with one basic group program or self-study course, because that is where you can really show what you can really deliver on, right? So if you have a group program or a self-study course. So basically, There are no more 3 to 6 months one-on-one packages that are offered. There are more power sessions and VIP days that can lead to a more transformational experience for your clients. And excuse me. And then instead of a mastermind, you want to have like a private community that is moving forward together, right? On their own pace. Because what 2020 taught us was that we have very scarce resources in terms of time and attention to deliver on services, and it's really not easy to find a long-lasting time schedule that all of the people who are in our orbit of clients or orbit of influence can roll with, right? So what I want you to understand is that now if you have an offer to focus on, how you can turn it into a less commitment-based or a shorter commitment-based, more transformational experience for your audience, so that you keep up with the trends in your niche. Because the second source of consideration should come with the trends in your niche, right? And you are in the online coaching business, and it is not exactly feasible, not just financially, but in any other regards for your audience to be able to commit to a certain time schedule over months and months of commitment to meet the transformation. So you want to break down the overall great transformation into smaller, shorter, quicker ways of getting there, so that your audience can buy your services, right? And the third source of consideration should be you, your own spirituality, your own intuition, your own well-being and mindfulness, because it is you who run the business, and you have to be able to align with your own needs and necessities so that you can run this business, right? So whatever spiritual practice, whatever mindfulness techniques you can use, I highly recommend you meditate on your plans, pull tarot cards on your plans, use any spiritual techniques, tap on your plans, ask your spirit guides, book a call with a spiritual coach to see if it is something that you can maintain. Because running a business requires your willingness and your emotional and mental strength to follow through with, and to be able to do the repetitive tasks and responsibilities that this business comes with. So I hope it helped. Check out my private community on the link in the comments, and see you around same time, same place next week.